Realistic Sustainability Educational Shorts. This week, I want to talk about something that I have to do because it drives me bonkers if I don't. So I kind of want to just bring it up to everybody. It's really just bringing sustainability to work. Now, I've tried a lot of different ways, a couple different companies, and have started to kind of find how I can accomplish it. Sustainability is still kind of a small industry, but it really should be integrated into every large business or even small business throughout the United States or the world. And many of us want to take action. Maybe you got a sustainability degree and can't find a niche within that industry to work within. Well, you can bring that to your current employer. That's what I try to do. Doesn't always work, but that is what I try to do on a pretty regular basis. I don't ever feel like I can do quite enough at work, but there are things I have been able to do. One, I'm an engineer. I can commonize things. If I have a different part on every piece, that's very expensive. It's a lot of materials. It's a lot of time. There's a lot going on there. But if I commonize it and simplify it, that actually does help. And it helps my business. I am more likely to get a yes from my boss because, well, it's cheaper. And that's why I do it. Number two, I try to remove or reduce like our disposability. Parts get shipped. Well, they could be shipped in reusable items or disposable. A lot of companies like cardboard. I don't. I like things that can be shipped back and reused over and over again. It does have a little bit of higher cost up front, but it's a lot easier to deal with and is a lot less waste, and my parts are generally better protected. So I consistently lobby for reusable dunnage, the packaging, to all be something that can be shipped back and used over and over and over again instead of constant cardboard use. And because of Amazon, pretty much just because of Amazon, cardboard's expensive. So it's actually not so bad to switch it to something reusable. I try to do that. And when I'm selecting materials, I just try to be careful. Doesn't matter if it's for a product, I try to look for something that's easily recyclable, that can still manage everything I need it to do. So in my job scale or how I work, these are things I can do that just kind of peck away at the overall sustainability needs of, well, our company and the planet. And it's different for every job. I understand. I'm an engineer. It's different, but it doesn't matter if you are working in a kitchen. It doesn't matter if you work in an office space. There are always some small things that can be done. We all know how to reduce. That's one of those things. Go paperless where you can. Use as much digital as possible. Try not to overuse paper. I used to sit and use scratch paper all the time, and every piece had to be a new piece because it's like a whole different mindset. Now I have one piece of paper, and if I need it to look different, I just turn it around so that the only thing I'm looking at is the words that are the right side up. I'm constantly reworking the same piece of paper until I can't anymore. What's better? I should have been using the darn computer, but I haven't got that far yet. But in the meantime, I'm trying to find those ways to reduce that. Take your fork and your knife to work with you, maybe even a small plate, so that you're never grabbing the plasticware. I think Nick and I had a whole show about that kind of stuff. If everybody brought their own, that's a ton of energy and a ton of waste that isn't going to be there anymore. Remember, every plastic fork or spoon you've ever touched is still here. It's going to outlive you. There is no questions about it. You will pass. It will still be here. So if you can, use those recyclable materials like steel forks and spoons. Take one set, wash them when you're done, throw them back in your drawer. It does a ton for you. There's other things that you can do that would just simply help your company you work for and bring a little sustainability. When I worked for my first engineering firm, one of the things I talked about was printing double-sided. You generally use half as much paper. Print at draft. So you set everything up so that it goes black and white, draft. And if someone wants something different, they have to change it. Almost everybody who prints just standard. And they just hit print and they pick up their paper and they walk away. They don't care if it's slightly darker or not. Originally, ours were actually sent to high detail, which means even some basic things that you printed just for documentation used a ton of toner. Well, changing this actually saved the company a boatload of money. There was a conversation that just with the printers, between printing double-sided, using a ink company that takes the old ones and refills them, and the cost reduction there, and switching to draft saved our company over $100,000 a year. Yeah, That's how much waste was just in that one thing. Then if someone really needs something high detailed or they need something slightly different, maybe color, they just select it before they print it. How many times have you printed something large on accident and had to hurry up and stop it, but by then you'd already printed 10 pages of color? Well, that doesn't happen anymore. And if you take that to your company, they're usually pretty excited because it does save them a boatload. You'd be amazed how expensive printers are. Use responsible shipping. So we used to buy tons of packing material. And one of the conversations I had at work was, we get things every day. Can we just have a large space? And we used a pallet with cardboard sides where we can just throw all the packing material in there. So when things came in, we threw it in there. When we had to ship things out, we used the same packing material. No one noticed a difference. It wasn't a big deal. And we didn't have to buy any more. Guess what? Another cost savings. We didn't actually have to buy very much, but we did still buy some of the massive rolls of bubble wrap to be able to ship items from one spot to another. We saved a lot of boxes and we reused those same boxes instead of buying, as we did before, large pallets of boxes. And when we shipped, we always tried to make sure we picked the right shipping. Ship responsibly. Ship all your items at once. Do these things that make things slightly better. And then we also switched to paper tape. That's not honestly a huge big deal, but it was slightly better. We even included energy efficiency items where we started using timers, started using motion sensors, brought some of the cost of the building down a little bit. Now, one thing I never got while I was there was a recycling program, but that's something you could bring to your work also. It's one of those things that really brings good attention to the business you work for if they recycle on a regular basis. And the last thing that I have is, if you work in an environment where you are writing constantly, get dry erase boards. Yes, you still got markers and stuff like that, but you're not using nearly as much paper, or you're constantly writing these different things. Well, unless you need to save it, you're really just brainstorming. Use the dry erase boards. Most of the time, when you talk sustainability to your boss or to the company you work for, it really is a cost savings. And most of the time, that's where you're going to get the traction. Don't be the person who's really pushing sustainability as if it's an ideology. Understand, when it comes to business, they care about money way more than anything else. And that's the advantage of sustainability. It saves them money. So instead of coming to them being pushy about sustainability factors, well, you can say, hey, let's do this. I calculated it. It's going to save us this much money. Or I haven't calculated it, but it should always save us this much money. When you talk to them in their language, you're more likely to get it done. This former place that I worked changed a lot of things. Once I got 2 or 3 of them in and they could see that there was going to be a cost savings, they were more open to just about everything I said. We have to pick on the capitalist side. It's a business. Their whole goal is to make money. Let's make sustainability how they make money. That is the best way to bring sustainability to your work. They do it to save money. We do it to reduce the amount of waste and energy that's in our facility. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this short. If you did, share it with a friend or post it on social media. If you want to help realistic sustainability, follow us. Whatever your favorite podcast platform is that you're using, click follow. That helps us out tremendously. You can also leave us a 5-star review. Apple is the place to do that. Apple reviews help any podcast grow super fast. We haven't had any in quite some time, so if you get an opportunity, please just jump into iTunes and leave us a great review. Plus, as we all know, I like reading them. And last, if you really feel like realistic sustainability brings some value and that you want to help it for the long haul, well, you can actually donate to us. There's going on to greenyourlife.org/podcast. And you can send a single donation, or you can sign up to do it monthly. That you can support realistic sustainability for less than $1 a month. And for those of you who already do, thank you so very much. It means a ton to us. Nick and I put a lot of work into the show. It's always nice to get a little something back. And remember, we only get together each week just to get a little better. Little bit, big bit. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Feeling overwhelmed by climate change? Looking for sustainable and ethical brands to support? Then Ethic is perfect for you. Ethic is a simple browser extension that helps you find sustainable and ethical brands online. Learn more at ethic.org, ethyk.org.